Peace to the gods and goddesses, kings and queens, emperors and empresses, chiefs and chiefesses of the motherfucking planet, priests and priestesses of the motherfucking planet. Oh shit. I hope you're having a great cosmic night or rising, depending on when you catch or see this video. I just want to speak on the sun, right? And I want to do another video. What the fuck? Where we go? There we go. I want to do another video where I'm on the computer and I can show y'all everything I need to show y'all. My bad, my bonnet a little loose, y'all, so that shit keep coming down, but fuck it. You feel me? Fuck it. I'm trying to keep that shit up. But I want to try to get shit done on the computer where, you know, I can show y'all everything that y'all need to see, you know, all the, you know, charts, data, radars, and, you know, satellite data that's picking up what the fuck the sun is putting out, right? Picking up what the sun putting down. Let me say it like that. You feel me? They picking up what the sun putting down, gang. Geyser, nigga, no cap. But the reason why I'm talking about the sun, because today we was hit with one of the strongest solar flares of this year so far, right? I'm not sure if it was stronger than any flare last year before that, but so far this year we got hit with one of the strongest flares that caused blackouts across Europe and Asia. Now, I don't know if y'all been paying attention recently, but there's been a lot of blackouts happening. Remember, like, I think it was in Cuba. I remember Cuba had like a big ass blackout, but that was like last year though. But then this year, Spain had like a major blackout, bro. And then here in Austin, even though they didn't talk about it, it should have been something on national news. Even though they didn't talk about it on their legacy news networks, CNN, MSNB, NBC, ABC, all that shit, right? Nigga, here in Austin, nigga, it was like at the beginning of April, I believe. Bro, we had a massive power outage throughout the city, nigga. Like, the whole city didn't have no power, gang. And the reason I said that is because, goddamn, it's flying. Let me I had to crinkle that gas so that fly stay out my face, but we had a blackout here, fool, and that day, the only thing that was weird about that day, it was real windy, but that didn't make sense for the power outage. It was clear as day and sunny as hell, and the reason why I'm explaining the environmental factors is because, nigga, Austin, we get hit with some strong storms out here, bro. Wind stronger than that day, right? And the power be fine. Nigga, for anything, the lightning be knocking out the power here. Wind, it's always windy here. So it was like, it was real windy that day, and they tried to say that the wind was the reason to make the power outage happen or whatever. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So now, and then, it's a nigga named Mr. MB33, Mr. MB333, or 333, basically, Mr. MB333. There we go. But he on YouTube. That's his name. So I recommend y'all go check that nigga out, because he got a lot of people from all over the United States that be sending him in videos of, you know, some shit in the sky or power outages and so right now he's posting all these videos of people all around the United States catching videos of, you know, highway light, you know, the what's they called, the highway lights, street lights that be on the highway. Like, people was catching the whole lights across down the whole highway, just flickering in and out, off and on, and people catching, you know, whole apartment sections and part of the cities where, you know, the power is just fluctuating on and off like it's malfunctioning, and people not recognizing the sun. We might experience another Carrington event. Your scientists, they said that we're due for another Carrington event. They said Carrington event happens every 100 to 1,000 years. Now, the last Carrington event was in 1856. That's well over 100 years ago. So we're due for another strong solar flare from the sun to where it could, in this modern age, see, back in the day, a Carrington event wasn't really that bad. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't that bad. I mean, the only thing that happened was the telegraphs got fucked up, and people that were like pilots and shit or something like that, they experienced a lot of radiation sickness, because there was a lot of radiation in the atmosphere from such a strong solar flare like that. So people don't know that there's radiation on the ground. We talking stronger than nuclear radiation. Gamma radiation is on the ground. UVC, UVA, UVB, ultraviolet radiation is on the ground. X-ray radiation, nigga, that's on the ground. And you know X-rays be fucking, you know, fucking up niggas' bodies and shit like that, right? But the thing I'm pointing out is, right, we are due for another Carrington event, and your scientists have confirmed that, like, the phase that the sun is the phase that the sun is in. The sun is in the same phase as it was during that time when the Carrington event happened. So that's why niggas is so worried right now, because for the simple fact, nigga, if the right solar flare hit in this modern age, it's going to really impact us. Because we're so technology dependent. We dependent on the phone, we dependent on the microwave, we depend on all this technology, right? Nigga, once the sun wiped that out, nigga, we're basically back to the pilgrim age. Niggas gonna need lanterns again. Niggas gonna be in the houses with wooden I mean, don't get me wrong, like, we still gonna have modern shit that can help us, through such a detrimental situation like that, right? Like, for example, the lighter. I mean, I know they had shit like that back in the day, but just like the point I'm making is we're gonna get sent back to the pilgrim age, nigga. Niggas gonna have to wash their clothes with some clean water and some soap that they found at the store, you niggas, since, everything fucked up and everybody done raided the stores and took it. You better get what you can when shit go down. I'm gonna just say that. But, wash your clothes, and then you gotta hang them up and let them dry and shit like that. All that kind of shit is gonna really come into play. And then you gotta think about the food. That's gonna cause a food shortage. You see what I'm saying? Shit like that's gonna cause a food shortage. All monetary systems will collapse. Just like that. Just like that, gang. So right now, I just want to let niggas know we are in solar cycle 25. They say the poles on the sun has flipped. The poles on the sun flip every 11 years. 11. And we know that 11 is a parallel portal to a gateway. A parallel portal gateway to, whatever dimension that you seek to go to. And on top of that, there's two ones on side of each other. Parallel realities are now combining, and the veil is being thinned. And now you got niggas seeing, just like, for example, I seen this video going viral of this nigga at this fucking meeting with all these people. He was like some leader or something. Then when the nigga coughed, the nigga had he sounded like the nigga off of Black Ops Zombies that say, fetch me their souls, nigga, when the dog round come. He sounded like that nigga. And then it was a woman that stood up like, what the fuck? Because at first I was like, this video could have been AI, because AI is crazy now. But I'm like, this shit probably AI. But then when I seen that woman stand up, because everybody heard the shit, and then she stood up like, she did just like that with her hand on the chest and everything. Like, what the fuck? Then she looked back at other people like, did anybody else hear that shit? So I'm like, oh, this shit might be, you feel me? So the veil is thinning, and things that's trying to hold things that's bending the light, right? Because we know this whole realm is based on light. It's based on electromagnetic light. And we know that light can reflect and refract. And what I'm getting to is that there's beings around us that's trying to hold this form by bending the light, basically, that can't hold it no more because the sun is exposing that light. You feel me? The sun is now taking back control of the perceptionary realm, reality that we live in at this current time. So the sun poles just flipped. That was like last year or maybe the year before that, but they just flipped, and they flip every 11 years. And solar cycles last, they say that they solar cycles last, like, how can I say, 1 year on and 1 year off type shit. Like, this year's gonna be cranking, then next year it might not be cranking. But I'm gonna be real with y'all. Solar cycle 25 is gonna be crazy, bro. If you notice the past 3-4 years, the sun has been teeing up. It's been literally charging up and getting more charged and more charged and more charged. And now the sun, we reach solar cycle maximum, or solar maximum, this July, which will be basically the start of solar cycle 25. So we don't know what the sun is finna do for the next 4 or 5 years. So, like, we during this period when it's at its maximum, what they telling us is, nigga, at some point the power might go out. We might not have cars no more. We might not have PS4s, PlayStations, computers, emailing, YouTube. We might not have that shit no more. And the crazy thing is, in 2012, we were supposed to get hit with a solar flare so strong that it would cause a Carrington event, but it never happened. It ended up missing us, like, or some shit like that. But then I also know during 2012, that's when CERN was first ever launched. And weird shit happened ever since 2012. Shit ain't been the same since 2012. We all know this, gang. I ain't gonna talk about no Mandela infection shit. We all know what the fuck happened and what took place, nigga. These niggas, you feel me? They playing with everybody's memories with that CERN shit. So, right now we in that time again where the sun has peaked. And during this, because at solar cycle, the 2012, during that solar cycle in 2012, the sun was at its maximum. And we almost got hit with a flare damn near worse than the Carrington event, nigga. That was literally we was gonna be cooked. You feel me? We was going. It's back to game level 1. You feel me? Game 1, level 1. You feel me? It's all over. Stage 1. So now that we in it, and then during this time when you gotta remember, every time the sun peaks and it reaches solar maximum, our consciousness peaks and it reaches solar maximum. 2012, around that time, that's when I first heard about like draconian reptilians and niggas talking about geoengineering the weather and shit like that, poisoning the food, adrenochrome, Queen Elizabeth might be a lizard and shit like that. Like that shit, this is nothing. This was way back in 2012. This has been talked about. It's just now it's becoming more grand and it's reaching the masses more because niggas, was still talking about it. You feel me? And, pushing that out for all these years. And now that the sun is peaking in consciousness again, this same information has took an even greater height at reaching the masses. Now you got everybody around the globe questioning shit. Be like, something's off with this planet. Something, not the planet, my bad. Something's off with this world, this society we living in. What's going on? Who's running shit? You feel me? So now that we in this solar cycle, these niggas is kind of... That's how they feeling right now. That's how they feeling right now because the sun teeing up. And on top of that, we know there's people that, when it comes to the sun, there's people right now that's like concerned about the sun because they can't stand out there. They can't be outside long or they'll get fucked up by the sun. It's literally microwaving them niggas. You see what I'm saying? That's why we gotta pay attention to what's going on with that sun. That motherfucker finna do some shit. Niggas don't want to talk about that. And then another thing too, another thing that niggas like, I get everybody focused on what's going on in space. Cool, you feel me? Cool, but niggas is not talking about what's happening in the ocean. You feel me? There's shit coming out the ocean, nigga. Niggas is trying to figure out what the fuck. Like, remember last year where all them drones, we had the drone incident, everybody seeing drones everywhere, right? And then in New Jersey, there was a nigga that seen 50 drones come out of the ocean off the coast of New Jersey. 50 drones come off the coast and made their way. Come on now. And on top of that, how can I put this? On top of that, right? Let me use other shit, right? You got the USS Jackson. Go look that up. The USS Jackson just released footage this year of them catching a UFO, UAP, back in 2019. And like I said, this thing was bigger than the USS Jackson itself. Moving at 550 knots underwater. God damn. It's that big, moving that fast? Shit. You can't fuck with that. You can't fuck with that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, oh damn, it's a bird right here. What's up, man? You put up on me so quietly, nigga. I wish I could flip the camera and show y'all. What's up? But anyways, This thing was moving fast as fuck, bigger than that fucking Navy ship that holds fighter jets on it, all kind of shit on it. Um, and there's like, what was the other one, right? I think it was in 2004, where niggas caught shit flying in the sky with some fighter jets moving faster than them and doing directions that fighter jets can't even pull off. They can't even pull off that shit. That's crazy. You see what I'm saying? That's crazy shit right there. So, you know, and not only that, they talking about these things are coming out of the ocean, going back in the ocean and coming out of the ocean. They're coming from the ocean. They're not even coming from the sky. They coming from the ocean and then going in the sky, nigga, and they be moving at high speeds. Now, I'm not saying it ain't no shit that's not coming from the sky that's here. No, I'm not saying that. There is shit that's coming from the sky that's here, but the shit, all of this activity that we're seeing now that's getting more hot, the activity is getting more hot now. That's because all these other crafts are coming out of the ocean. They're coming out of the ocean, gang. And we gotta, and then not only that, not just that, you got creatures and shit coming from out of the ocean and shit, big as hell. Niggas just found the colossal squid recently, but they found the baby form of it. They found the baby form of the colossal squid. We talking squids that reach 40 to 50 feet long. That's bigger than a school bus, nigga. I ain't fucking with that. I ain't fucking with that, gang. Like, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I think shit like the megalodon, like, you know, the giant shark and shit like that, like, I think them things are still alive, gang. For the simple fact, you got deep sea gigantism. The deeper you go into the ocean, the bigger the creatures get. We don't know what's in the ocean. We don't even know how we know what's in the sky more than we do what's in our own ocean and in our caves, nigga. All these unknown caves that ain't been explored and shit that could be under there and bases maybe. And then this water, all this uncharted water, 80% ain't been discovered. Think about that. Even though I think they lying to you about that, I think they know what's going on down there. They just don't want to tell nobody. So they be like, oh no, we ain't got the technology to go down that deep because we'll implode. And we don't know what's in the ocean. So, you know, yeah, 80% discovered, but we still trying. Like, yeah, whatever. So, you know, the sun and the ocean is cranking up. You feel me? But the sun is about to, you feel me? We need to worry about the sun though, mainly. Like, yeah, you know, CMEs are the reason that earthquakes take place on the planet, and we've been seeing massive earthquakes this year. And the CMEs are the cause of that. Look into it, please. Because you know, when you got something called interplanetary shockwave, for every time the sun sends a CME, it causes a shockwave between all the planets within the solar system. So that means the solar system is getting hit with a big ass boom. It's like boom, and we shaking and shit. And then it causes all this shit going on the planet. And it's, you know, the solar radiation is also responsible for these severe tornadoes and thunderstorms that's taking place. Have you noticed every time, right? Like during winter, well, this past winter, nigga, we seen some tornadoes, but like during the normal years, right, when the sun was still golden, the moon and the sun come out, then the moon come out when the sun gone. Not seeing both of them at the same time at 11 a.m. in the fucking day or 5 p.m. in the fucking day. I don't know how that works, but back when shit was normal and when winter was actually cold and summer was actually hot and the weather wasn't fluctuating from so-called climate change, nigga, if you notice every summer when the, you know, or my bad, my phone, here we go, every spring and summer the thunderstorms crease up, the tornadoes, hurricanes and shit like that. That's because of the sun. And you know what you got? You have something called geostorms or solar storms. You feel me? And these solar storms, you gotta think about it. It's like a storm, but on a plasmic level or a spiritual level, electric level, and then it trickles down into our reality in the 3D plane that we're in, solid plane that we're in, and it manifests itself as a thunderstorm. You feel me? And then in this thunderstorm, you see all this lightning, and you feel me? The lightning bolt is a lightning bolt is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. They say the surface of the sun is 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius or some shit like that. I don't know. But, you know, lightning bolts is hot as fuck. And them bitches hit, you get hit with one of them hoes, this is a wrap. You feel me? So, All and then the rain on top of that, all that water. Cause you got, you know, you gotta remember the process of evaporation. Let's go back to science. Evaporation, and then precipitation and then condensation and shit like that. You feel me? That's what the clouds be doing. The clouds ain't nothing but water. And then when it's getting all that solar energy charged into it, that plasmic energy from the solar storms, cause you know solar radiation ain't nothing but just electricity, nigga. So all that shit is charging up them ions in the water molecules. You feel me? In the clouds, and then that's when the storms. That's how. Cause you ain't never thought about this shit. Like, damn, how the fuck does water, which is clouds, produce electricity? How the fuck them bitches be making lightning and shit? You know, and then when you look into it, you like, oh, this is how I do that. So, you know, then you got, like I said, you know, these clouds, they be charged up, whether it be positively or negatively, and you know, they emit lightning. So, you know, that's all coming from the sun, the earthquakes, the floods, the volcanoes erupting. You know, the mass storms and tornadoes. Right now, it's a whole tornado threat going on across the damn southeast right now, or the central, you know, the central area right now. You know, from North Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama. It's a they got tornado watchers out. I mean, not watchers, but chasers out right now. Um, so yeah, you know, it's getting worse, and it's getting worse. Like we're seeing shit like happen consistently now. Now that we in like in the 2020s, nigga, like nigga, we seeing tornadoes during winter. How is that possible? We thought nigga shit calmed down during winter, but you know the sun's still cranking up through winter too. And if you notice, the winters ain't really even been cold like that. And if we being honest, most of the shit that came through, Arctic blasts and all that shit and cold fronts that came through be coming from HARP, because it be coming from the north, and HARP is all the way up there in Alaska where it's cold at. And you know heartbeat, yeah. So they be sending them Arctic blasts down here to make it cool, because they be like, damn, nigga, we still need our winter, nigga. They need damn mosquitoes, but they like, damn, nigga, we still need our winter. You ain't finna, it's getting hot. The sun hurting us and shit. Bill Gates trying to block the sun and shit with clouds, cloud seeding and all this shit. You know, chemtrails and all that crazy shit, right? So yeah, the sun cranking up through all that shit. And not only that, it's shown, and nature is turning up too. Nature's, yeah, remember nature's involved in this shit too. That like, in nature showing you it's showing you a lesson that you can't control her, and you will not manipulate her, for the wrong reasons at least. If you gonna utilize Mother Nature, utilize her for righteous reasons, not this shit that we're in. Niggas charging you for fruit, water. Niggas charge you for air that you breathe in, like, you know, your air conditioning, like electricity that's in the air, nigga. Y'all use radio waves and all this wireless shit, and it's in the air, it's in the ground. Like, damn, y'all see what I'm saying? So, anyways, enough of my rambling on, y'all. Just pay attention to what's going on. It's gonna get greasier. You feel me? It's only gonna get greasier. The consciousness is gonna keep rising in us. As long as that sun keeps increasing, our consciousness is gonna keep increasing. Cause if you know, the Schumann resonance, we match the heartbeat of the earth. You feel me? And the heartbeat of the earth, you know, the earth's consciousness is picking up, and now that's causing our consciousness to pick up. You feel me? Because of the sun. Just pay attention, man. Y'all stay in tune. You feel me? Never take what I say, and just always do your own research. You feel me? I'm gonna pull up the charts and shit. You know, whenever I get on the computer, I'm gonna do a video where I pull up the charts and shit and give y'all like a solar update. You feel me? I'm gonna give y'all a solar update on what be going on and shit, and then show y'all how, and I'm gonna match it for y'all on how, like, soon as we get hit with this happens. Cause every time I see an earthquake, I go look up what kind of flare we got hit with that day. And if the earthquake magnitude is like a 7.1 or greater, I go look up I know it's like an X flare. I'm like, let me go see. It'd be an X flare. If it's like a magnitude of like 6.5 and less, it might be like a C flare or an M flare that we got hit with. I'm telling you, it match up, bro. Everything match up and it's interconnected. It's interconnected. And this is playing a part with our genetics too. You feel me? That's why our consciousness is rising. You know, when the UVB and the UVC and the UVA hit your skin, it goes straight under the epidermal of your skin, nigga. Your skin absorb in your hairs. Your hairs is antennas. You feel me? That's why when something crawling on you, you can feel that shit. I mean, you can feel it on your skin too, but still on your hairs, you can feel your hairs before shit touch your skin on your arm or whatever. So, you know, Your skin absorbs shit. That's the biggest organ on your body. You gotta remember that. So when you absorbing all that energy, you know, all that light, that photon light is being conducted into vitamin C and shit, and B12 and shit, and serotonin, because that's what you get when you stand under the sun and absorb the sun. You know, that's what takes place, and we gotta understand too. UVC is a mutating wavelength. Mutating means to change, so that means, I mean, not a mutating wavelength, but it's a detoxifier and a mutating wavelength. It mutates the DNA. It literally mutates the code in your DNA for the good or bad. You feel me? For the good or bad. Because certain chromosomes in your DNA can start getting deleted and shit, and literally like burnt out, like literally burnt away, nigga. You know how Thanos snap and shit fade away? Like, that's what happened, nigga. That shit fade away, and that's what's happening with a certain group of people on the planet. You feel me? It's happening with a certain group of people on the planet that's having a hard time taking that sun. And that ain't nothing against them. You feel me? We want them to be aware of that, bro, so they can be prepared for that kind of shit. And you feel me? Potentially they could help themselves, save themselves from that shit. But they so caught up in the illusion of this world and keeping domination over me and my people that they're literally gonna wipe themselves out. Y'all just gonna wipe yourselves out, gang. That shit, y'all be trying to put that shit in our heads, cause you know the placebo effect, trying to make us think that we all one and shit like that, and the sun gonna affect all. It ain't gonna affect all of us, my boy. It ain't gonna affect all of us, my boy. For my UK brothers, you feel me? Or I ain't gonna say UK brothers, my bad. You know, to the UK niggas, Europeans, you feel me? But to my people, you feel me? The sun gon', it's gonna crank up with us too, though. Don't get me wrong, not everybody's safe with my people too, though. You gotta remember how many of us got. Come on, be for real. How many of them folks went and got them V shots? I ain't never get it. You feel me? But I still gotta include myself with my people, because we as a whole, like, damn, y'all fucking up. Why we telling y'all not to go get them? Y'all got them chunks. We don't know what's we don't know what's going on in your body now. We don't. Really look into what an mRNA is. It's a messenger ribonucleic acid. They use the spike protein of mRNA from what creature they got, I don't know. You only get mRNA from a living thing. So whatever they got that spike protein from, or however they made it, they got it from something. I don't know where they got it from, but they put it in a bunch of people. Now, I shouldn't be going no further than that, because YouTube don't like when you talk about that shit. They gon', you feel me? But remember, everybody got them buyouts with my people. Yeah, let's not forget that. That sun not gonna hit you the same how it hits some of us. You gonna experience certain symptoms and shit too. You're not gonna experience cancer and shit like the others, but you feel me? Like, what they call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Not heat stroke. Collapse. Niggas just gonna collapse. They heart collapse, brain collapse, anything could happen. Now, I'm saying there ain't no way to potentially detox that shit out of them. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't no science. Like, I'm a scientist in the making, but nigga, I ain't no certified scientist to know how you can reverse some shit like that, nigga. Cause I gotta know where the fuck they got that shit from in order to counteract that shit. But they don't want to tell you where they got that shit from. They wrote them shits out within a month. When COVID first came, they wrote them hoes out within a month. According to pharmaceutical law, nigga, a V shot is supposed to take at least 7 years, before it can be fully administered to the public. They wrote them bitches out in a month. They said, fuck that law, nigga. We need these niggas sleep now. We need them sleep now. But nah, for real. So niggas gotta understand that shit, fool. Like, a lot of our loved ones and shit went and got them hoes, fool. And we gotta figure out how we can handle that with them. But to the rest of us that didn't get those V shots, we gotta keep moving forward doing our thing. And if you didn't even get tested, like, nigga, I ain't never got tested. Like, when the first test, now I ain't talking about the mouth swab and shit now, because they got normal afterwards. But you remember the first test they had to jam shit all the way up your nose to your fucking, you feel me? Now your nostrils don't lead to your brain, but it lead close enough to it, because you have something called the blood-brain barrier, BBB. It's either brain-blood barrier or blood-brain barrier, whatever you want to call it. But that's when they stick it up that far, that's what they get to. Even though they're not going in your brain, literally, they're going far up your nasal passage where it's close enough to, to the barrier of your brain. You feel me? Where it can absorb through the skin, through the blood, and then through the blood barrier of the brain, straight into the brain. So we don't know what the fuck they was. You feel me? When I seen that shit, I said, ooh, I ain't getting that shit. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Remedies on that, nigga. What the nigga, I don't have the flu how many times, nigga? Because that's all the shit was. The same symptoms of that shit was the same symptoms as ARS, acute radiation symptoms, and the flu. Point blank, period. And remember, before it was called COVID, it was called Corona. Before it was called COVID, it was called Corona, gang. And it was talking about the Corona in the sun finna crank up, nigga, and it ain't gonna stop. And niggas finna experience a lot of sickness around this bitch. But not us. But it's gonna be a lot of niggas just falling at all this shit. You feel me? And we need to administer this shit. We need to say, because they try to use that we all one shit. You gotta remember, they be like, oh, we all human, we all the same. You feel me? So they, we fell under that shit for so long that now everybody going to get them V shots, not knowing they really trying to get a specific group of people with them V shots. So they DNA don't receive these new light codes that's coming in. Boy, these new light codes is beautiful. These new light codes is beautiful, gang. Them hoes hit different. For real. Them hoes hit different from the sun, nigga. So that's what I'm saying, like, it's cranking up, but my shit, we going in 30 minutes, fool. My phone finna die. It's probably already on 1%. It's probably finna die on me now. I don't know, but I'm finna end it right here before it do, and I'll go deeper on a lot of shit, gang, but it's cranking up, man. It's cranking up. I appreciate y'all, value y'all. Most importantly, y'all stay in tune, man. Do your own research. Don't just take what I say or what anybody else saying, run with it. Do your own research, like I always say. One love, make universal love. Y'all, I'm out.